Namaste students, welcome to bio class. So in the previous session we have discussed about the microbes, what are the habitats of microbes and role of microbes in production of various household products. So in today's session let us discuss about the role of microbes in the production of various industrial products. So we'll see what are those industrial products that can be produced by using microbes. So first we'll list down what are those industrial products. So industrial products like beverages, alcoholic beverages or alcoholic beverages, antibiotics, various types of chemicals like organic acids, chemicals like alcohols, enzymes, and some of the bioactive molecules can be industrially produced. Bioactive molecules. So all these types of products can be produced in industries in large scale by using various types of microbes. So for the production of such type of industrial products in large scale, we usually use a type of large vessel known as fermenters. So these fermenters are very large vessels which are mainly used for growing microorganisms for large scale production of various industrial products. So industrial products like alcoholic beverages, antibiotics, organic acids, alcohols, enzymes and bioactive molecules can be produced in large scale in industries by using some large vessels known as fermenters. Okay. So now first let us discuss how in industries in large scale alcoholic beverages are mainly produced. So these alcoholic beverages are mainly produced by using a microbe known as, which is commonly called as brewer's yeast, and its scientific name is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. For the industrial production of alcoholic beverages, we use a microbe or we use a yeast which is commonly called as brewer's yeast, and its scientific name is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. So this yeast is also known as baker's yeast. We have noted down in the previous session. This yeast is also extensively used in baking industry. So it is also called as baker's yeast. So what is the scientific name of baker's yeast or brewer's yeast? It is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. So we use this microbe for the industrial production of mainly alcoholic beverages. So various types of alcoholic beverages can be produced in industries using various types of raw materials. So first we list down what are those alcoholic beverages that can be produced in industries in large scale. So some of the alcoholic beverages include wine, beer, whiskey, brandy, rum, etc. So these are some of the alcoholic beverages that can be produced in industries using the microbe Saccharomyces cerevisiae. So here the brewer's yeast mainly helps in fermentation of the raw materials. So we'll see what type of substrates or raw materials that we use here for the production of alcoholic beverages. So mainly for the production of these alcoholic beverages, we use either the malted cereals or we use fruit juices. So note down the substrates used or the raw material used. Substrate or raw material used for the production of these alcoholic beverages are malted cereals. Various types of cereal grains are mainly used, or fruit juices can be used. So you know that fruit juices are extracted from fruits. Cereals are mainly subjected for a process known as malting process, and after the malting process of a cereals, then the malt or the malted cereals are mainly taken. So malting is a process where various types of cereals, it may be rice, wheat, barley, different types of cereals, they are subjected for various steps like steeping, it may be germinating and then drying these grains. Okay, in case of malting, cereals are mainly subjected for a process known as malting. So this malting mainly involves three different steps. They are steeping, germination, steeping, germinating process and then drying them. And such malted cereals are mainly used as raw material for the production of various types of alcoholic beverages, or we can use various types of fruit juices for the production of alcoholic beverages. So such raw materials are taken in large vessels known as fermenters. For such substrates or raw materials, we are going to add the microbes known as brewer's yeast or Saccharomyces cerevisiae. So you know that this Saccharomyces cerevisiae plays an important role in fermentation process. So now the malted cereal or the fruit juice, that is the raw material that is taken for the preparation of alcoholic beverages, undergoes fermentation process because of the microbial activity of Saccharomyces cerevisiae. So it forms a fermented broth. After fermentation process, it forms a fermented broth. Broth is nothing but the liquid culture. Okay? The liquid that is formed after fermentation of malted cereals or fruit juices. So from the fermented broth, this fermented broth may be subjected for various types of processing. So based on the type of raw materials used and based on whether the fermented broth is subjected for various types of processes, different types of alcoholic beverages are obtained. Okay? So now this fermented broth may be subjected for or may be taken for processing. It may be distillation. Okay? So some of the alcoholic beverages are mainly obtained after distillation. Some of the alcoholic beverages are mainly obtained without a distillation process. So you might have studied what is distillation process. You might have come across about this particular process, especially in chemistry, right? Distillation process. So there are certain type of alcoholic beverages that are obtained after distillation. And there are certain type of alcoholic beverages which are obtained without the distillation process. So what do you mean by distillation process? So distillation is a process of separation of components from the liquid mixture, right? Separation of components from the liquid mixture mainly by the process of boiling as well as condensation. So based on the boiling point of the liquid from the mixture, different types of liquids get separated at various boiling point. So such a process is known as distillation process. So there are certain alcoholic beverages which are mainly obtained after distillation and certain alcoholic beverages are obtained without a distillation process. So we will see which are those alcoholic beverages obtained after distillation, which are obtained without distillation process. So among these alcoholic beverages, wine and beer are the alcoholic beverages that are mainly obtained without distillation. Process, whereas alcoholic beverages like whiskey, brandy and rum, they are mainly obtained after distillation process. Okay, after distillation process. So based on this, the alcoholic content also varies in different types of alcoholic beverages. So usually this wine and beer has got less alcoholic content. It may be having around 3 to 12% of alcoholic content. Whereas alcoholic beverages like whiskey, brandy and rum may be having large amount of alcoholic content. Generally they have more than 40% of alcoholic content in them. Okay, more than 40% of alcoholic content is present in whiskey, brandy as well as rum. Okay, so we have discussed in detail about industrial production of alcoholic beverages or various types of beverages. Okay, so next let us discuss how are these antibiotics obtained in industries in large scale and what are these antibiotics. Antibiotics are considered to be one of the most significant discovery of 20th century. Okay, antibiotics were considered to be one of the most significant discoveries of 20th century. Antibiotics are also referred to as wonder drug. They are also referred to as wonder drug. Okay, it was after the discovery of antibiotics, various types of infectious diseases could be treated. Otherwise, before that, there was no such antibiotics known for many of the individuals, or there was no such antibiotics known such that the infectious diseases could not be cured. So, only after the discovery of antibiotics, as I told, it is one of the most significant discovery, and after the discovery of antibiotics, there is a hope of treatment for various types of infectious diseases. And nowadays you know that various types of infectious diseases are mainly treated by administering different types of antibiotics. So now we will see what are these antibiotics. So antibiotics are the chemical substances that are obtained from some of the microbes. Antibiotics are chemical substances that are obtained or produced by some of the microorganisms, and they usually kill or they inhibit the growth of other microbes. You can note it down. Antibiotics are the chemical substances that are produced by some of the microbes. They either kill the other microbes or they may inhibit or retard the growth of other microbes. They kill, inhibit or retard the growth of other microbes. Retard the growth of other microbes. So this is the property of antibiotics. So nowadays there are many such antibiotics known, and for most of the infectious diseases, antibiotics is one of the means of treatment. So we usually treat various types of infectious diseases by administering various types of antibiotics. So you know that the first antibiotic that was discovered was penicillin. Okay, the first antibiotic that was discovered is penicillin. And this penicillin was discovered by a scientist named Alexander Fleming. Alexander Fleming in the year 1928. So in around 1928, Alexander Fleming has discovered the first antibiotic, that is penicillin. So this penicillin antibiotic was discovered from the species, or it was discovered from a fungal species named Penicillium notatum. Penicillium notatum. Okay, so it was a by chance discovery. Okay, antibiotic penicillin was a by chance discovery by Alexander Fleming. So this Alexander Fleming was working in his laboratory mainly with some bacteria like Staphylococcus aureus. Alexander Fleming was working with the bacteria Staphylococcus the species aureus. He was working with the bacteria Staphylococcus aureus in his laboratories. And you know that generally we culture the microbes in culture plates or nutrient medium, right? Nutrient medium or the nutrient agar, we usually culture the microorganisms. So same way Alexander Fleming was culturing the microorganisms, especially in some of the nutrient medium, and he left some of the culture plates unwashed. So when he observed the unwashed culture plates, he found that there was a growth of a particular mold. So when he left or when he observed the unwashed culture plates in his laboratories, he observed the growth of mold, or mold is nothing but fungus or fungal species. So when he observed that, in such culture plates where mold was grown or the fungus was grown, it did not allow the growth of bacteria. Okay, it did not allow the growth of bacteria. So later on when he studied, he came to know that this mold or the fungus produce certain chemical substances, and because of the production of certain chemical substances by the fungus or the mold, the bacteria could not grow or the other organisms could not grow. Okay, so later on it was noted as antibiotic, and then the antibiotic was named as penicillin because the mold that was grown was Penicillium notatum. So the chemical substance or the antibiotic produced by Penicillium notatum was named as penicillin. So even though antibiotic penicillin was discovered in around 1928, its effective use was not known. Okay, its effective use was not known. It was only in around 1940s, during World War II. It was in around 1940s during World War II, many of the American soldiers were wounded, they got hurt. So during this time, this antibiotic was administered to them, and it was found that the antibiotic was helpful or in treating the wounded soldiers or in treating the infections or the wound. So they observed that after administering such antibiotics, the wound was healed, or it could treat, or the individuals or the soldiers could be treated by such antibiotics. Okay. So later on, the effective use of such antibiotics were mainly established by two of the scientists named Ernest Chain and Howard Florey. Okay. So in around 1940s, during World War II, many of the American soldiers were wounded, and during this time, antibiotics were administered for these wounded soldiers, and it was found that the wound could be, or the infection could be treated mainly by administering this antibiotic. So later on, its effective use or the effective use of penicillin was established by Ernest Chain as well as Howard Florey. So in around 1945, all the three scientists, that is Alexander Fleming, Ernest Chain as well as Howard Florey, were awarded with Nobel Prize for this discovery. In around 1945, all the three scientists, Alexander Fleming, Ernest Chain and Howard Florey, were awarded with Nobel Prize. Okay. So this is about the discovery of antibiotics. So nowadays many such infections can be treated mainly by administering antibiotics. There are different types of antibiotics that are available from different types of organisms or microbes. For example, there are various species of Streptomyces which produces different types of antibiotics. There are various species of Bacillus which produces different types of antibiotics. It is known that the Streptomyces species mainly, different types of Streptomyces species mainly produces more than 60 different types of antibiotics, and Bacillus species, different types of Bacillus species produces more, around 40 different types of antibiotics. So nowadays many types of antibiotics are known, and they are given as treatment for various types of bacterial, fungal as well as helminthic infections. Okay. And some of the antibiotics, you can note down the name of some of the antibiotics. Now you know that penicillin is one of the antibiotic, and that was the first antibiotic that has been discovered. So there are various types of antibiotics like tetracycline, chloramphenicol, bacitracin, griseofulvin, gentamicin, terramycin, erythromycin, azithromycin, etc. So these are some of the names of the antibiotics I have listed down here. There are various types of antibiotics which is able to inhibit or kill the growth of other microbes. Okay. So among these antibiotics, there are certain antibiotics which are effective against wide range of pathogens. So there are certain antibiotics which are effective against gram-positive as well as gram-negative bacteria. Okay. So such type of antibiotics which are effective against wide range of organisms or pathogens are called as broad spectrum antibiotics. Broad spectrum antibiotics. So antibiotics can be broad spectrum antibiotic or antibiotics can be narrow spectrum antibiotics. Narrow spectrum antibiotics. So as I mentioned, broad spectrum antibiotics are those antibiotics which are effective against various types of pathogens. It may be gram-positive or gram-negative bacteria. Whereas narrow spectrum antibiotics, they are very specific in their action. So they are effective against certain type or specific type of bacteria or pathogens. So they can also be considered as specific antibiotics. Specific antibiotics. And whenever the antibiotics is administered or when the doctor prescribes antibiotics, you know that we usually take the antibiotics or doctor prescribes antibiotics in a course. So this course of antibiotic has to be completed. Okay, so we should have a judicious use of these antibiotics. Use of antibiotics should be done judiciously. So that means we have to complete the course of antibiotics. Okay, it is advised that not to stop the antibiotics in between the course because the pathogens may become resistant to different types of antibiotics. So because of this particular reason, the antibiotic has to be taken in its full course. Okay, so these are different types of antibiotics that are available, and we have studied about the discovery of antibiotic, that is penicillin. So nowadays, using microbes, different types of antibiotics are commercially produced in industries in large scale. Antibiotics have improved our capacity to treat various deadly diseases caused by various deadly pathogens. For example, there are certain antibiotics that are available to be administered as, or there are certain antibiotics that are available mainly to treat diseases like leprosy, it may be whooping cough, plague, etc. Okay, so nowadays we cannot imagine the world without the antibiotics. So we are used to antibiotics nowadays mainly to treat different types of infections. And whenever, you have to remember that whenever doctor prescribes the course of antibiotics, you have to complete the course of antibiotics. It is not advised to stop the antibiotics in between the course, because the pathogens or the bacteria may become resistant to certain type of antibiotics. They gain resistance against certain type of antibiotics. Discuss about the industrial production of various types of chemical substances. It may be commercial production of organic acids, various types of alcohols, enzymes and bioactive molecules. So first let us discuss about the commercial or industrial production of organic acids. So various types of microbes are mainly used for industrial production of various types of organic acids. So we'll see which are those source organisms from which different types of organic acids are obtained. So organic acids like acetic acid is mainly obtained from a source organism named Acetobacter aceti. Acetobacter aceti. So Acetobacter aceti is a bacteria from which acetic acid is obtained. Okay. So next, butyric acid. Butyric acid is mainly obtained from a bacteria named Clostridium butylicum. Clostridium butylicum. Clostridium butilicum. So Clostridium butilicum is the source organism for industrial production of butyric acid. Next, citric acid. Citric acid is mainly obtained from a fungus named Aspergillus niger. Aspergillus niger. A fungus named Aspergillus niger is the source organism for industrial production of citric acid. The same way, lactic acid is mainly obtained from the source organism Lactobacillus. So there are various species under Lactobacillus like Lactobacillus acidophilus. So some of the Lactobacillus species are known for the production of lactic acid. So these are some of the organic acids that are produced in industries mainly by using the microbes like Acinetobacter aceti, Clostridium butilicum, Aspergillus niger and Lactobacillus. So among these, Acinetobacter aceti, Clostridium butilicum and Lactobacillus are the bacteria from which various types of organic acids are obtained, whereas Aspergillus niger is a fungus from which citric acid is obtained. So next we will see what are the types of alcohols that are commercially produced in industries in large scale. So some of those alcohols that are mainly commercially produced in industries may be ethanol, methanol, propanol, butanol, etc. So all these alcohols are industrially produced by using different types of microbes. So you know that ethanol is mainly obtained from yeast known as Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Okay? Yeast known as Saccharomyces cerevisiae. So in addition to this, there are different types of organisms from which different types of alcohols can be obtained. For example, mucor is known for production of alcohols. Even rhizopus is known for production of various types of alcohols. So these are the source organisms for the production of alcohols in industries. So next let us discuss about the production of enzymes as well as their uses. Enzymes and their uses. So some of the enzymes that are industrially produced include lipases, pectinases, proteases and streptokinases. Streptokinase enzymes. Okay. So lipases are the enzymes that are industrially obtained by using the microbe known as Candida lipolytica. Candida lipolytica. So this is source organism for the production of lipases. So lipases are mainly used in detergent formulations. They are used in detergent formulations. So they are mainly used in various types of detergents. So mainly these enzymes are packed and they are used in detergent formulations mainly to remove the oily stains. To remove the oily stains from the cloths. To remove oily stains from the cloths, it is mainly used in laundries or even at home we use different types of detergents which have got various types of enzymes including the lipases such that oily stains can be removed. Okay. So next we will see what are pectinases and where are they used. Pectinases and proteases. So pectinases and proteases are mainly obtained from various source organisms like bacillus. So there are various bacillus species which are known for the production of pectinases and proteases. So these pectinases and proteases are mainly used especially in bottled juice for the preparation of bottled juices. For the preparation of bottled fruit juices, mainly they use these two enzymes, pectinases and proteases. Okay. So if we prepare juice at home, compared to the juice that is prepared at home and the bottled juices. Usually the bottled juices will be very clearer. Okay, so these, especially for the preparation of bottled fruit juices in industries, they mainly use pectinases and proteases. So by using pectinases and proteases, the bottled juices can be clarified. So the bottled juices that we get or we purchase from the markets will be very clearer compared to the juice that we prepare at home. This is mainly because of the use of enzymes like pectinases and proteases in the preparation of various types of bottled fruit juices. So next we will see what are streptokinases and from which organisms streptokinases are obtained. So streptokinase is an enzyme mainly produced from a bacteria named Streptococcus. Bacteria named Streptococcus. So streptokinase is an enzyme obtained from the bacteria named Streptococcus. They are later on genetically modified and then they are used as clot busters. Okay, they are modified and then they are used as clot busters. So clot busters are mainly used in medicine. Okay, clot busters are mainly used in medicine. Mainly these clot busters mainly clear the clots from the blood vessels, especially from those patients who have undergone myocardial infarction. Those who have undergone myocardial infarction. The myocardial infarction. So those patients, those who have undergone myocardial infarction will be administered with clot busters. So these clot busters clear the clots from the blood vessels. Okay. So myocardial infarction is such a condition where the blood vessels or blood supply for the heart will be blocked. So blockage of blood supply to the heart is known as myocardial infarction. Suppose if myocardial infarction is not treated, it may lead to conditions like, or it may lead to heart attack. Suppose if the patient of myocardial infarction is not treated, then it may lead to heart attack. Okay, so these are the uses of various types of enzymes. So they may be used in detergent formulations, they may be used in preparation of bottled juices, and they may be used even in medicines or in medical field. So next let us see what are bioactive molecules, what are their uses. So bioactive molecules are the substances or molecules that are produced in the body of living organisms and they function in the body of other living organisms. So such molecules are known as bioactive molecules. Okay, bioactive molecules are those molecules that are produced in living organisms and they perform function in the body of other living organisms, mainly by modifying the metabolism process. Okay, so such substances or molecules are called as bioactive molecules. So we'll note down some of the bioactive molecules and the source organism of bioactive molecules. So some of the bioactive molecules include cyclosporin A, and statins. So the cyclosporin A is mainly obtained from a fungus named Trichoderma polysporum. Trichoderma polysporum. So Trichoderma polysporum is the source organism of cyclosporin A. And cyclosporin A is used in medicines, especially as an immunosuppressive agent. So cyclosporin A is used as immunosuppressive agent. And we have come across these immunosuppressive agents in the previous chapter when we were discussing about human health and disease. We have come across especially these immunosuppressive agents. So when do we use these immunosuppressive agents, or when are the patients administered with immunosuppressive agents? So usually these immunosuppressive agents are mainly given to those individuals who have undergone organ transplants. Okay, so why this individuals, those who have undergone organ transplant, have to take these immunosuppressive agents. So usually these immunosuppressive agents you know that there are those individuals, those who have undergone organ transplant, sometimes there may be chance of organ rejection. Our immune system, if it fails to, or you know that our immune system, especially the cell mediated immunity or immune system, has the ability to distinguish between the self and the non-self cells. Sometimes the organ that has been transplanted may be recognized by the cell mediated immunity as the non-self cells, and it may start destructing those cells, or the organ may be rejected. So in certain cases, or mainly to prevent such cases, usually immunosuppressive agents has to be administered to those individuals who have undergone organ transplants. So if the individual takes immunosuppressive agents after organ transplantation, usually it suppresses the immunity such that the immune responses will be regulated. Okay, immune responses will be regulated. So next we'll see what are statins, what are the source organisms of statins. So statins are the bioactive molecules that are mainly obtained from a yeast known as Monaskis purpureus. Monaskis purpureus. So statins are mainly obtained from the yeast known as Monaskis purpureus. So the statins are known for, or they are known as blood cholesterol lowering agents. They are known as blood cholesterol lowering agents. Blood cholesterol lowering agents. So why they are considered as blood cholesterol lowering agents? Because these statins, if it is administered to the individual, usually the statins competitively inhibit the enzymes that are involved in cholesterol synthesis. Okay, statins usually competitively inhibit the enzymes involved in cholesterol synthesis or cholesterol metabolism. So in this way the blood cholesterol level can be maintained. So the statins act as blood cholesterol lowering agents. So these are the various types of industrial products that can be obtained, or commercial products that can be obtained by using various types of microbes. Okay, and all these industrial products, they are obtained in large scale in the industries inside the fermenters. So next we have to discuss about the role of microbes in treating the sewage, such that the sewage is treated, and only after treating the sewage will be discharged to various water bodies.